Sorry guys, I just got back from Disney, so this is my new addiction, is checking out waiting times on the app. Astro Orbiter's at 30 minutes, Haunted Mansion's at 40 minutes. Must be a pretty busy day. Space Mountain's at 40. Pirates of the Caribbean is at 40. Now, if somebody's there, they could book the Jungle Cruise and then swing over and hit Space Mountain, and then Big Thunder Mountain Railroad before close, if they had Genie Plus. But it seems like since I've been on my vacation last week to Disney, all I can do is look at the app and think about what I can do, what I can plan next, and how awesome I am at manipulating Genie Plus. But welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about Disney. And I know this is going to be a departure from my normal videos. I usually talk about camera gear and stuff like that, but wasn't really feeling it today and wanted to kind of do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the camera gear I took and what kind of worked and what didn't work. Sometime in the future, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around all that and trying to collect my thoughts on that. But I'll get to that sooner or later. But today I just wanted to kind of give you my brief review and a little bit of a rant about Disney. Now let's start off with the biggest thing about Disney that I absolutely hate is Genie Plus, which is the app on your phone. You have to buy it separately. If you're going to Disney, it's a separate purchase. And what it does is allow you to reduce your wait times in line to get on certain rides. And then also there, you can buy individual lightning lanes for rides, these specialty rides, you can book for an extra fee. So we're going to talk about Genie Plus, why I hate it, and also we're going to do a list of rides that I went on and give you a little bit of a review of that. And then I want to tell you some of the places we ate. One place in particular, I want to do like a little food review, restaurant review, and tell you what I thought about that place. Anyway, I got my flat bill I got on at Hard Rock. It's pretty sweet, huh? So let's start off with Genie Plus, okay? Genie Plus. So this is the title of the video. It's the planners versus the Look-e-loos. In preparation for this trip, I've been researching Genie Plus for months now. Hours upon hours upon hours of review, of research, watching videos, how to make the most out of Genie Plus. If you didn't know, it's generally between $20 and $25 to $30 extra a person a day to get Genie Plus. And so you really want to make the most out of that because you did purchase it. So in order to do that, there is a strategy out there. It's not too hard to understand when you're actually using it, but you should do as much research you can about it beforehand because it is a little bit complicated and you do want to understand what you're doing before you go to Disney. Let's just take you through my first day at Epcot. So I get up at 6:30 in the morning, okay? Because you can book an individual lightning lane at 7 o'clock in the morning. You can do the virtual queue at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you can make your first lightning lane review at 7 in the morning. So I'm up at 6:30. I buy Genie Plus for me and my party, okay? 7 o'clock rolls around. I buy Guardians of the Galaxy. I buy Rise of the Resistance, and I book my first lightning lane for the day. Good enough, right? Well, I can't go back to sleep, so I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs for the rest of the morning until everybody gets up and around ready to go. Anyway, we head off to the parks. So in the meantime, I'm able to book another lightning lane. Every 2 hours you can book a lightning lane. So I'm got a top 5 list of kind of what I want to book. So I book an additional lightning lane in Epcot. I'm just trying to plan out the trip as efficiently as possible. I might have a lightning lane booked at 10:30, and then I want another lightning lane booked at 11:30 to 12, and then after I ride the 10:30 one, I can book another one, so on and so forth. Basically, so I'm getting the most out of it. But I have all these lightning lanes starting to stack up, plus the individual lightning lanes that I purchased as well. What I didn't take into account is my daughter, who's an art major, and Epcot, who's having a festival of the arts, what that would entail. My daughter, she wanted to stop at every booth and look at every piece of art. Every little country that we came around, she wanted to go back in there and look at all the art, look at all the stuff they had for sale, look at this, look at that. I mean, there's so many interesting things. But I'm sitting there going, hey, we gotta hurry up, chop chop. You know, we got things to do. I got things booked. We gotta get going. So that created this conflict, you know? And that's what Genie Plus kind of does. It pits the person who's doing the planning against the people who just want to experience the whole thing, you know? Who want to stop and look at stuff, who want to stop and eat, who want to stop and, you know, smell the roses, if you will. And so we're kind of going back and we're going at it, you know? And it's horrible. And I hate it. Because I'm there to enjoy Disney my way. They're there to enjoy Disney their way. My wife's there enjoying Disney her way. And everything's not meshing up. So I'm like super duper anxiety that we're going to miss a lightning lane, and I'm not going to, you know, make the most out of Genie Plus, which I just paid $75 for. And my daughter, she's over there looking at art that's, you know, $2,500 that nobody will be able to afford. That's why I hate Genie Plus. It just sucks. Like, you watch the videos and you see these people when they go to Disney, these influencers, they buy Genie Plus for themselves and they have a plan and they can get everything done. But a normal family, that's not the way it works, because everybody wants to stop and do something along the way, and you have to plan out for the time to get from one place to the other. Also, when you're booking Genie Plus lightning lanes, you might book one on this side of the park and turn around and book another one on the other side of the park. So you're just walking back and forth all over the park trying to make your reservations. I just hate it. I hate it. And then, on top of all that, trying to explain Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes and the virtual queue to anybody that's done no research is almost impossible. Like, we were walking along there and I was trying to explain this stuff to my wife, who doesn't know or doesn't care. And she was looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, this is the system they got. I mean, you have premium rides and you have not premium rides, and you can reserve on this, you have to pay extra on that. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what they have lined out. So it's just crazy. And like I say, all day, you were on your phone, you know, making a lightning lane, modifying the lightning lane, making your next lightning lane, seeing when you can make your next lightning lane. Everything's about the phone, blah, 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 phone, everything all the time. You have no time to look up. You're just walking around like this, and everybody else is walking around like this, and nobody even can look and see anything that's going on around them. Everybody's running into each other. There's no wonder there's huge fights at Disney, because everybody's glued to their phone trying to figure out where their next lightning lane is, or when they can make their next lightning lane. It's just a terrible system. Now, I don't know how to make it any better. You know, like, so Universal has their way. For like $140, you can ride everything in the park, go right to the front of the line like an express pass, and be done with it. I don't know if that's the way to do it. I know, like, Silver Dollar City, they offer, like, you know, packages like 5, 10, 15 rides that you can skip the line, and every time you go through, they punch your card. You know, I don't know what the best way to do it is, but I know that when you go to Disney Park, man, you don't want to be glued to your phone all the time. You don't want to be glued to the phone all the time. You want to be experiencing, because it is cool. Like, Epcot is cool. You want to be experiencing what's going on around you. You want to stop and look at things. But if you're always worried about your next lightning lane, you have no time to stop and look at things. And it sucks. We started on one side of the World Showcase over kind of by Mexico, and we wanted to walk around all the way around World Showcase and take the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios. And we had like 2.5 hours to do that. And, we stopped at Mexico, then the next one, and the next one. And we were stopping and looking things and doing things. And about halfway through it, I was like, yo, we've got to move it along. We've got to speed this up or we're never going to make the individual lightning lane that I bought for Rise of the Resistance. So I had to like speed everybody around. They're mad at me and I'm mad at them and everybody's mad at each other because I'm trying to get to the Skyliner to get over to Hollywood. And that's just the way it goes. I hate it. I hate it. So that's my little rant about Disney Genie Plus. I think the best way to do it, to be honest with you, if they'd had some kind of AI feature where you could buy Genie Plus way in advance, put your top 5 rides in, 6 rides, whatever, list them out, and just have AI do it all for you, so it can take you around the park and time everything out, and in a decent time frame, so you can see everything, and you're not just rushing from one place to the other, and you might miss, like we didn't even go into some parts of Magic Kingdom because our lightning lane passes didn't take us there, so why would we go there? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, the AI thing, if you could just put in like 5 or 6 rides, buy it like 3 weeks in advance, and it pops out, bing, bing, on your phone. This is what you're doing then and there. You can modify a little bit, but there you go. And everything's good. You're good to go. If you're happy with it, submit it, and you're golden. But I don't know, man. The system now, I just hate it. I just hate it. It's just too stressful, and everybody's on their phone all the time. Who wants to go on vacation and be on your damn phone all the time? Anyway, so that's my little rant about Genie Plus. I know I went on probably a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's it. Okay, so we'll talk about some of the rides in Disney that we went on, and I'll give you my brief review on it. Let's start off at Magic Kingdom. I have my notes here of just what we rode. And we'll start off at Big Thunder Mountain. Big Thunder Mountain is an awesome roller coaster. And when you start kind of looking through my list, you will start seeing that the old school rides, in my opinion, are way better than most of the new school rides. Because back in the day, they used to want to give you a good ride. If you waited in a line, they wanted to give you a good ride. And that's where Big Thunder Mountain comes in. It is a good roller coaster. It's not scary. It don't do any loops. It doesn't do anything special, but the theming is great. I can ride it, so it's good for bigger people. You could take little kids on that, and even if you're a thrill seeker, you can enjoy the ride. Like I say, the theming is good. It's just an all-around great ride, but it is an older ride. Haunted Mansion is the same way. We rode that. And I don't know that maybe I rode that way back like 20 something years ago, but I just thought it was great. Like, you just don't see rides like Haunted Mansion. They just don't make those type of stuff anymore. Everything's all 3D and 3D glasses and motion simulators and all this fancy stuff. And I mean, Haunted Mansion is a ride unlike any other maybe that I've ever been on. It is really impressive. Really a lot of imagination went into that ride, and it's just a perpetual. The carts are in perpetual motion, so the line goes really fast. That's awesome. I think that's a perfect ride. It is pretty. I loved it. I loved Haunted Mansion. I didn't go on it last year. I went on it this year, and I was really impressed by that. Okay, Small World, after all, the trippiest ride you'll ever go on in your life. It is nightmare fuel, really. And what it is it's a bunch of 3-foot wooden figures, animatronics, singing It's a Small World in a bunch of different languages. And it is the trippiest, scariest thing I've ever been on in my life. And what would make it really, I told my wife when I got off of it, what would make a cool movie is like a horror movie based around It's a Small World, where all these little dolls come to life and just start murdering everybody, or like killing everybody. That would be a sweet movie. But It's a Small World, man. It's classic Disney, but man, it is trippy as hell. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's another Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It is another individual lightning lane, meaning you had to pay extra. It's a little roller coaster with some Snow White theming. Would never pay for that one ever again. It's really short. The ride's not that thrilling. You have the dwarf singing hi ho, hi ho. You see Snow White there at the end. That's it. Pretty lackluster if you ask me, especially for a ride that you're paying extra for. Space Mountain, man, it's a classic. You gotta love that. Complete darkness. Don't know where you're going. Twists and turns all the way around. Love Space Mountain. Like I said, and it's a decent ride. You know, these older, like I say, these older rides are much better in my opinion. The last one at Magic Kingdom we rode was Tron. Tron, it's a minute. It's a minute long. You pay $15 a person to ride a minute long ride. It shoots you outside. It shoots you off real fast outside. You go around the track. You go inside. There's some stuff on screens playing like cartoons or animatronics or whatever on these screens. You go through there, the ride's over before you even know it. I mean, what the heck? You just paid $15 a person. You couldn't build a ride that lasts like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you know, anything? No. It's a minute. Would I do it again? Probably, but I wouldn't be. It's not great, you know. You're paying so much money, you expect it, or you're waiting in this huge line. You expect a decent ride. It's really not. Let's talk about Epcot. Epcot's probably my favorite park, I would think. Really. We rode Guardians of the Galaxy twice. And this is my absolute favorite ride at Disney. It lasts a long time. All the scenes, like it's all indoors. You're on this spinny roller coaster that goes back and forth like this, and it shows you all these different scenes. There's music playing in your background, in your ear. It is awesome. It's an awesome ride. I'll give it to that. Whatever that thing is, they're charging for it, $15 or whatever. It's awesome. As evidence, we went on it twice. If I went back to Disney tomorrow, I would just load up on individual lightnings for Guardians of the Galaxy because it's my favorite one by far. By far. Living with the Land, was just something to do. It's like a 5-minute wait. It's basically a walk on. You go through a greenhouse. They talk about farming and agriculture. It is what it is. It's okay. It's been the same forever. So, hey, just something to do. And then right there with Living with the Land is Soaring over California. And you get in this huge hang glider. Now, I'm not big on heights. Like me and heights don't get along. So I was like pushed back all the way the whole time on Soaring. But I like Soaring over California better than Soaring over the World. And it's like I say, it's a classic ride that's been there forever. It gives you a good ride. It's a little bit longer. All in all, it's a great ride. I really enjoyed Soaring. And then the last one we rode over there was Test Track. And you build a little car, whatever, design your own little car, you know, whatever. Nobody's paying attention to that. You get into a vehicle and it takes you through all these like stopping and braking and all this stuff. And then at the end, it just shoots you off at 65 miles an hour. So it's a good thrill at the end. It's a pretty decent ride. It's the first time I ever rode that. Liked it. Okay, let's talk about Hollywood for a second. Hollywood, we went over there to ride Rise of the Resistance right when we got there. Rise of the Resistance broke down. We raided around, blah, blah, blah. And about 20 minutes after, we were supposed to check in, it came back up. So we went in and ride Rise of the Resistance. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I thought it would be cool. Was not impressed at all. You're in one of these trackless cart things and you go through all these different scenes. And it's just, I don't know. It was really extra. It seemed really extra for what it was. It was like, that's awesome. But I think a much simpler ride would have been just a lot better. I just didn't care for it. I would not pay the extra money to ride it again. I just thought it was extra. Like it was, I guess this ride's always broken down. I can see why, because all the different steps that you have to go through to even get to the ride, anything part of that could break down, and then, you know, the ride shut down for however long. So yeah, it was good. I'm glad I got to ride it because, you know, I tried to ride it last year and couldn't. Finally got to ride it this year. Wasn't really impressed at all. What are you going to do? Wouldn't ride it again either. Wouldn't ride it again. We also rode Star Tours. Okay, last year I rode Smuggler's Run, and this year we rode Star Tours. I couldn't tell you an iota of difference between the two, to be honest with you. They both do basically the same thing. If Star Tours is a walk-on, 5-minute wait, and Smuggler's Run is an hour, just go ride Star Tours. It is basically the same thing. It might be even better than Smuggler's Run, if you ask me, if I'm going to be honest with you. So you're just in a little cart watching a screen, and, you know, it shakes and pivots and, you know, does all this stuff. It's a cool ride. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It was fun. It's just, there's no reason to do both of them because they're basically the same. They're basically the same. But to tell you what happened when we went to Hollywood, we went over there, Rise of the Resistance was down, okay? The whole reason we went there was to ride Rise of the Resistance. It was down. Mickey and Minnie's, so I was like, well, let's go ride Mickey and Minnie's Mine Train. It went down. And then Rock and Roller Coaster, which is, you know, the signature roller coaster over there, it's down for refurbishment. And then we were in line to ride Tower of Terror. It has 2 elevators. One of the elevators went down, so the line was going like extra slow. So out of all the rides that we wanted to ride, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were broke down. Out of the 5 rides that we, you know, wanted to ride, 4 of them were broke down at some point during our time there. Take that for what you will, but that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, what the H, man? All right. So, and then the last thing, we went over to Animal Kingdom, and we were just shot in there at the very last, before closing. We rode the Safari, which is always awesome. That's the only ride that my daughter wanted to ride there. And we hustled over there. We had like 10 minutes to get all the way across the park to get to it. And the Safari is always awesome. I love it. It's basically what you do is you get in a truck and you kind of drive around this little track, and they have animals, giraffes and rhinos, and you can see lions and a cheetah and all this, you know, wildebeest and all this stuff. And it was real fun. It was real fun. And then also we rode Everest, which is an old ride. And again, these older rides give you a better ride than the newer ones. It's a far better ride than anything in Hollywood, if you ask me. Any of their newer rides at Hollywood, that is. It's a really, really good roller coaster. And it's just crazy that these older rides are so much better. They're just so much better. That's it for the ride portion. And then the only other thing that we'll talk about is one restaurant that we went to. We ate a lot of food there. My wife and daughter and I, we kind of ate around and ate some different things. But the only really one restaurant that we sat down and ate at was Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. And I wanted to make sure that I got the name right. Probably the worst barbecue that I've eaten. I'm sure there could be worse, but it was pretty bad. Okay, so you sit down there. First of all, it's $50 a person, or give or take. They bring you some biscuits and pepper jelly. That's actually pretty good. They bring you watermelon, cubed watermelon, and they also bring you a vinegar with cucumbers and onions and tomatoes in it. Those are both pretty good. I mean, you can't mess up watermelon really, and you definitely can't mess up a cucumber and onion salad. I mean, that's pretty easy. So both of those are pretty good, all right? They bring out the barbecue and they bring out the sides. And it's a family style service, all you can eat. okay? The barbecue was really just pretty bad, you know? Like when you talk about barbecue, you have like top level barbecue, like you go to the restaurant and you see the smoker out back and you see the pile of wood and you know what you know what you're getting. You know the kind of barbecue places I'm talking about. The really good ones. You have that level, and then the next level down is like they have a big smoker where they rotisserie where they smoke the food like this, and it's okay, but it's just not. They don't using like real split logs. They're just using chips and things like that. It's pretty decent. Okay, that's pretty decent. You know, the first one I was talking about is like Franklin barbecue. Think Franklin barbecue. The next one is thinking about rib crib or something like that. And then you have the next level down, which is, this is what this was. It's the next level down after that. Barely any smoke flavor, kind of dry, just not very good. I mean, it tasted like to me they obviously cooked this stuff way off-site because they're gonna have to have just tons and tons of barbecue. Cooked it way off-site, barely paid any, like cooked it in a huge, probably massive commercial ovens, no smoker, nothing like that. Shipped it into Disney World, and then they heat it up there, put it in the little basket, and bring it out to you. It just wasn't very good barbecue. I mean, it was decent. It filled you up, whatever. Kind of sucked for barbecue. And then the sides, I mean, you really can't mess up the sides. We had like tater tots, mac and cheese, which was just boxed mac and cheese. I can't even remember what else. Just you can tell how memorable it was. It just the sides wasn't all that great. And then they brought out the desserts, and they're in these little mason jars like that big. You have a chocolate one, an apple one, a cheesecake one, maybe like a fruit one or something. They were all just standard and bad. So I'm not giving the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue a very high rating. Now, if you go in there, you take your kids in there, it's all in Toy Story themed. You'll probably have a great time because it is fun, atmosphere. The theming's really good. So if you don't go in there looking for a good barbecue, you're going to be all right. If you're just going there looking for a good time, it's a good time. If you're going there looking for good barbecue, you're going to be sort of disappointed. Anyway, that's it. My not so brief review of Disney. I just kind of threw it all into one video because what the heck. And hope you enjoyed it. If you like this kind of video, let me know because this is, like I say, way off the beaten track for me. I don't hardly do videos like this, but if you like it, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you agree with me, let me know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.